So, I don't know about you, but things don't seem to be going too well at the moment. Just as the darkness is starting to creep deeper as the nights draw in, it feels like it's been getting a lot worse of late. If the news is to be believed, it would seem that our friends and neighbours are constantly under the threat of being shot or blown up by terrorists. That each siren we hear drive past is another attack, rape or robbery. The price of necessities like food, water and housing are slipping out of reach of so many people unable to afford the most basic human rights. We're constantly being told about the horrendous amounts of debt we're in, how we can't afford to invest or purchase things anymore, how the NHS is failing, we can no longer afford the welfare state, and our ageing population is unable to be supported. We're led to believe that young people are all armed to the teeth, waiting in the background to steal our wallets, that when they're not out up to no good, they're watching reality TV and trying to quench their bloodthirst on Xboxes and PlayStations. We watch as the planet is polluted, pillaged and exploited for profit. Listen to tales of endless destruction as the climate change takes hold in faraway places and increasingly nearer to home. We grow ever more concerned about what we're eating. You walk into the supermarket and look on the back of the packet, trying to figure out what's gone into your food, where it's come from, how it's been reared, caught or grown. On our screens, we see fighting, death and devastation, people fleeing from cities, towns and villages because their homes are now in war zones and they have nowhere to live. We walk down the street on a daily basis and see homeless people with desperate faces sat in the cold, looking for a little bit of help to try and survive. All of these things weigh heavy on my mind, and it feels like we can't stop them. And the more you think about it, the more overwhelming it seems to be becoming. I'm not too sure how we got here, but it feels like we're treading a dangerous path. We seem to try and combat these things by repeating the same mistakes over and over again. We're told that we have to work harder for longer, that our jobs come before our families, that we need to borrow so we can buy because it's only through the pursuit and acquisition of things that we can find happiness. We're told tales that anyone who claims a benefit is a scrounging, good-for-nothing freeloader, too lazy to work or contribute to society in any way. We're told that business and growth is essential and it should be supported at all costs. We're taught that we need to lock ourselves away, protect our family and things from everybody else, from anybody that thinks, looks or acts differently to us. That we have to accept that this is the way that things are. We know in our hearts that this isn't right, but when we try and tackle these issues, we do it in an odd way. We split things up, box people off into different socio-demographic groups. We demonize, ostracize, and punish the vulnerable and in need with cuts and lies. We protect and reward greed and celebrate success and extravagance. We fund unsustainable, dirty sources of energy. We throw away perfectly edible food every single day, pump livestock full of antibiotics to keep them alive in unlivable conditions. We shut ourselves off and we hide away from others because we feel anxious and fearful of them. Despite knowing all of this, we stand while things get worse, and we feel helpless to change these huge, massive, unchangeable issues. Things don't have to be this way. In spite of the constant stream of despair, I see something different. Through the work that Penny and myself do across the city, supporting businesses, projects, people and students, we've witnessed and experienced the most amazing feats of collaboration and acts of kindness. At the events we run, Pecha Kucha and Sheffield Soup, we felt the compassion and empathy and understanding that we all have for each other. We hear the voices of so many wanting to make a difference. Below the surface, I feel there is a real desire for change. We all know we're capable of it when we come together. And this is what we're building. A place where we can be together and change things every single day. Our project, Avenue to Zero, is a blueprint for a new platform to make things better. We're creating a co-live, co-work living lab in the heart of the community in Sharrow, an inspiring and engaging environment for people to come together, work and learn. A living lab is a place where ideals get tested in the real world to see how they work. It's going to be a center that we can all collaborate on working out how we change things. We believe that the best way for people to form relationships is by sharing experiences. And the best way to create meaningful experiences is to rally around challenges that matter to us all. We've called these challenges our avenues. And they're going to be the journeys that we go on that will become our catalysts for change. Each avenue will have its own strand of activities, workshops, and groups running projects to understand and overcome the issues that are within it, all run by local people integrating the community together and supporting the things that already happen in the area. Working with ShipShape, our health and well-being avenue, will look at joining up and enhancing existing services to reach out to the disengaged and isolated members of society, working towards gross national happiness targets rather than GDP ones. Our enterprise avenue will provide wraparound enterprise programs to help people starting up and testing out new ventures and provide ongoing support through time banking, skill shares, and the community coming together to mentor and coach each other. Our food avenue will explore all the issues we face in food and agriculture security, providing health and nutritional advice, getting people back into growing their food, experimenting with permaculture, aquaponics, and micro-farming projects. Our energy avenue is more important than ever because it's one of the key things that allow people to reduce the number of hours they work because they have less bills to pay. We need to focus on how we generate power locally, understand how we store it and make it. Housing is obviously a huge issue in the UK. The main house will be our co-housing experiment, explore how people can live together, coexist and support each other. We'll also be running projects looking at how we tackle social problems, housing, micro-housing, temporary and crisis settlements and homeless regeneration. Our environment avenue underpins everything that we do, looking at ways in which we can get closer to zero, with zero sustainable impact, tackle climate change locally that we can scale up to have a global effect. You can think of each of these avenues like faculties in a university, but they're all designed to interlink and overlap so you get this amazing compound multiplier effect where everyone has access to start making a difference. Now, obviously, you need an amazing place to do this, and boy, have we got somewhere special. We're in the process of taking on a Grade 2 listed Georgian mansion called Mount Pleasant, and it's the pictures that you've been looking at for the last 10 minutes. Now, it was built in 1777, which makes it 1 year younger than the United States of America, and most people fall in love with it when they walk up the drive, let alone step inside. We're going to restore this incredible heritage asset, stopping it being turned into luxury retirement flats and bring it back to life as the community asset it can be. As well as the main house, there's the stables to the left, which will become our engagement and event space. And the old Victorian Highfield Special School out the back, which has no restrictions on it, will become our living lab research centre with workshops, test beds, and a fab lab with 3D printing, laser cutting, and milling machines in. All this will sit in the redeveloped grounds that will enable us to connect Abbeydale Road via Mount Pleasant through to Shower Lane. It's about real revolutionary placemaking, somewhere people feel a part of because they've helped build and shape it from the very beginning. Everything that happens on site will be supported by local people who will deliver the training and the skills we share to each other, along with lots of activities and events. No matter what your background or your history, you can be a part of this. We know that there are more cuts imminent, and this sort of provision is going to disappear. Our vision is about creating a place where local people can build a sustainable community to look after each other. In the midterm, we'll provide 6 to 8 hours of content a day, every day from this site that will enable anyone across the country with a projector and an internet connection to bring buildings in their communities back to life, to reconnect the people in their local areas. This is real. It's happening now, and it's something that you can be involved in if you'd like to be. You can follow us on Twitter. You can connect with us on Facebook. You can sign the petition that will be appearing on our website soon. From there, you can also get in touch with us and tell us about a project that you would like to bring into the fold, or volunteer some of your time, skills, or expertise to help projects that may already be existing. I know this might seem somewhat fantastical, idealistic, or like a pipe dream, but it all stacks up. And it's by layering these different combinations of activities that make it sustainable and different to other projects. Changing the world is possible. We just have to believe in ourselves and each other. You don't have to have all the answers, just the ideas and the willingness to have a go, because it's when we come together that we can really start to make changes. Thank you.